What's up, guys? Welcome back to PWTB. I'm here with my favorite co-host, Evan. Evan, how are you doing, man?
I am doing great. I am in the home confines, kind of in my closet, but my table was not set up. I had a table this past summer, if you saw, so I'm just kind of sitting on the ground. But you know what? We're gonna do the show. It's gonna be awesome.
Hey, hey, you know what they say, the show must go on.
The show must go on. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about Branden Staley. Why, why did it take so long for him to get fired, and why was this the last straw after the blowout loss to the Las Vegas Raiders? Evan, what do you think about that?
Well, it was the last straw because the Raiders put 60 points. That was the highest scoring the Raiders ever scored, and that was, I think, the most points the Chargers ever gave up. I'm pretty sure they said that on the broadcast. So that was the final straw. But what really is the bigger deal? I mean, Brandon Staley is interesting because the Chargers are a bottom five defense in the NFL, and that's all Brandon Staley coached before he was head coach in 2021. He was a defensive coordinator. He was coaching linebackers. So you would expect better play from that 3 years in.
Mhm.
But the bigger deal is they finally got rid of Tom Telesco, the general manager of the Chargers, is because this man has held them back for he's been the general manager for 10 years. And if you look at the Chargers in 10 years, a lot in the 2000s, yes, they didn't win a Super Bowl, but they were very good teams, 14-2, 13-3. They were really good teams, especially in Philip Rivers' earlier career, and were competing. And then when Tom Telesco took over in 2013, they've either been bad or they were bad for a while, and then they drafted Justin Herbert. They kind of revived a little bit, but if they get in the playoffs, they're one and done, 9-8, 10-7. Way too talented of a roster. You look at the defensive pieces. You've got Bosa. You have Khalil Mack. I get he's getting older, but you still have. It's not like Derwin James. It's not like they're scrubs on defense. You have two great tackles, Slater, and I forget the other guy's name. I'll come back to that. So the offensive line is good too. You got Justin Herbert, of course, top 10 quarterback. His numbers are a little down this year. Austin Eckler, this is way too talented of a team to continue to finish, and that's why they look that way. Giving up 60 points, just a complete giving up on Brandon Staley after after Herbert went out for the year. Herbert was the soul of this team. And it definitely wasn't Brandon Staley. So this was much needed move, but we can't forget about Tom Telesco too. That's a huge subtraction for the Chargers. And if they do it right, they could be competing again.
Oh yeah, you can definitely make the case for the Chargers gave up on the season after losing Justin Herbert. With a second string quarterback Easton Stick, and I believe they released Matt Duggan off the practice squad earlier this year. The Chargers definitely gave up after losing Justin Herbert. But the big deal I have here is letting Brandon Staley go right now. I'm confused on why it took this long. I think it sort of happened after the 27 nothing blown league against Jacksonville in the playoffs last year. So I'm surprised this was the final straw. You know, Tom Telesco, he's obviously held the Chargers back. Hopefully now they can get a GM and get a head coach and start winning games.
Yeah, so by the way, I looked up the name. Trey Pipkins is their right tackle, and I believe Slater is the left tackle. But Jake brings up a good point, is because obviously the thing with Staley was decision making, right? Decision making was a problem. But decision making, yes, during the 27 nothing game. But if you remember the year prior, his first year too, in 2021, he had I think it was the last game of the season to get in the playoffs, Raiders, Chargers, if you guys remember that game. And Staley had a lot of clock management and that too. So you have that, you blow a 27 nothing lead. What I don't know for sure, but if you know for sure Staley's not that guy, why do you bring him back for another year? Like sometimes I do hear that with head coaches, like they bring him back. Oh, we'll give you one more chance to be nice. It's probably not going to work out. It's the NFL. You don't have time to waste a year like that. So I definitely agree. So Easton Stick, that's kind of an interesting thing though with him because I think he had like over 200 passing yards in the last game, right, Jake?
Yeah, he did, I think, over 249, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. So
And there is
he
also one more point that I want to bring up on the Chargers head coaching decision. They elevated I believe the defensive coordinator to an interim head coach. I'm surprised their offensive coordinator, Kelly Mond, didn't get a chance at head coach.
Yeah, the what's it, because he was the Cowboys offensive coordinator too. I was gonna say that. Yeah, I was surprised too. They promoted, and you'll usually see that. You'll usually see a guy who's not like a big name in the operations, like a linebacker coach or something, get the job. More of a hype man just to finish the season right. They don't actually think he's going to be the long term guy. So you'll usually see that a lot. Uh, but yeah, I was surprised Kellen Moore didn't get the bump up. But Easton Stick, I think he has an opportunity now in these last 2-3 games to really show maybe I could be a trade piece, maybe I could be a free agent. The GM for the Chargers, that's a nice job to have, especially now that Telesco's gone. You got a franchise quarterback, you got a lot of talented pieces. I think you got the money. What would they do?